Good evening, everyone. Buonasera. Let me see. So I'm trying something new with my remarks. I have a teleprompter app that I loaded on last night, and so I'm going to do this on a teleprompter and see how we do here. So first of all, I want to say that I'm sorry not to be able to be greeted by the ambassador. I understand he's on a very important mission right now, and I've certainly enjoyed my previous interactions with Ambassador Verricchio. And I want to acknowledge you, President Campese, and Executive Director Veronesi. And I apologize for my poor Italian pronunciation. But it is a great honor to join you for this special evening of commendation and celebration at the annual meeting of the Italian Scientists and Scholars of the North American Foundation. I've actually been here in this embassy quite many times, and I've always enjoyed my interactions here and all your wonderful events, especially for science. I'd like to congratulate Vittorio Pupo and Dr. Giuseppe Mazzotto on the prestigious awards that they're going to get in a few minutes, and I appreciate your inviting me to be part of this tribute to scientific pioneers who have illuminated many paths. Let me just say a few words about the agency that I'm proud to represent. For more than 6 decades, the National Science Foundation's mission has been to support pioneering research across all fields of science and engineering. We have an annual budget of nearly $8 billion, of which 93% goes back to communities in the forms of grants to educational facilities, mostly universities, research institutions, and educational research. We're committed to the pursuit of fundamental research that will help solve the great mysteries that still confront the most brilliant minds of our time. So that's our sweet spot, is funding fundamental research. NSF has supported the work of leading-edge researchers, of whom 222 have received Nobel Prizes. So just in the past couple of weeks, we have 5 more people that we've supported receive the Nobel Prize for all 3 of the physicists and the 2 economics winners. We're also committed to nurturing the science-driven economies of tomorrow, and we've supported new approaches to utilize the results of our research. And I just heard the question about education, and I wanted to say that education and funding the science and engineering workforce of the future is also one of the biggest things that we do. So I saw that one of your panels this afternoon discussed leveraging research to change people's everyday lives. And NSF has long been doing just that, making possible numerous scientific breakthroughs that today define modern life. For example, fundamental astronomy research funded by NSF Technical Innovations helped fine-tune the Global Positioning System, GPS, whose use in navigation, disaster relief, and defense mapping is well known. NSF also played a critical role in the mainstreaming of the internet. In the 1990s, NSF led the Digital Library Initiative that funded research into the expanding fields of accessible interfaces for net-based data collections. And that effort led to the formation of Google. In fact, we funded the 2 students at that time who started Google. Not long ago, the former CEO of Google and chair of the board, Eric Schmidt, said that NSF is where all interesting research gets started. So that was a high compliment from an innovator. Another example, NSF research helped improve the accuracy of reading barcodes that we find today on everything from candy bars to airplane tickets to shipping containers. NSF-supported research has also helped improve the lives of millions of people with the development of magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, which is now widely used in hospitals and clinics to detect tumors and internal tissue damage in patients. At its core, the National Science Foundation is committed to unfettered curiosity-driven, potentially transformative science, science that takes a long-term investment, appreciating the profound impact that unanticipated breakthroughs can yield in solving the great mysteries of our time. As a key part of that pursuit, NSF funds many of the world's leading research facilities that are pushing forward the frontiers of science, from detecting bosons with the LHC and neutrinos with our detectors in the South Pole, to detecting planets and stars and galaxies. Basically, we're trying to unlock the mysteries of our universe. NSF seeks science and engineering research with other nations around the world, and I'm proud to say we've had a long partnership with Italy. There are currently more than 100 active grants, I think it's around 150, that engage researchers and institutions within Italy itself, and many more that involve Italian citizens working at US institutions. So I want to highlight just a few of our collaborations. There's the Xenon program, which is a set of increasingly sensitive detectors searching for hints of dark matter in our universe. So why is that important? It's important because the matter that we see, that we know, the matter that comprises you and me, amounts to only 5% of the mass energy of our universe. And there's another 95% that we don't know anything about. And about a quarter of that is called dark matter. So the Xenon 100 detector in operation at the Laboratori Nazionale del Gran Sasso, which is near the Gran Sasso mountain, about 120 kilometers from Rome, was instrumental in the current phase of something called Xenon 1 ton, which is now underway in cooperation with a group of US institutions led by Columbia University. This experiment uses 1 ton of liquid xenon in attempting to observe the hypothesized weakly interacting massive particles, or WIMPs for short. And why? Because they're theorized to be the constituents of dark matter. The Osservatorio Astronomico di Cagliari in Sardinia was founded in 1899 to study the Earth's rotation. And today, it's still active. It's part of the International Pulsar Timing Array Partnership Network that's observing the effects of gravitational waves on the signals received from widely separated pulsars. 13 US institutions are members of this consortium called NanoGrav, Grav for gravity, which combines North American resources in this multinational effort with Italy. By combining data taken at the world's best facilities with the highest precision detection techniques and with experts from around the world, the team expects to detect gravitational waves with this new array within the next 4 to 5 years. I think you all heard about the big discovery last February that NSF and Italy were proud to be a partner of. It was an early detection of the first positive detection of gravitational waves on Earth, which were theorized by Einstein more than a century ago. In 1992, NSF approved the initial funding for the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory called LIGO, which is 2 facilities, one in Louisiana, one in Washington State. It's one of the most ambitious projects that was ever funded by NSF. In fact, we spent over $1 billion on it over the last 30 years. In February, we announced the long-awaited success of LIGO's pursuit, which was detecting gravitational waves from the collision of 2 very large black holes about 1.3 billion light years away from us. It's an effort in which the Italian project called Virgo has played a major analytical role, the Italian team called Virgo. And one day, very soon, the Italian project, which is also a gravitational detector called Virgo, will be online, and it will be detecting with us. And we hope that that's going to be a great moment for the globe. Let me also note that in 2015, the National Science Foundation named the eminent Italian scholar, Dr. Andrea Allu, who's currently a professor of engineering at the University of Texas at Austin, as that year's recipient of our Alan T. Waterman Award. Dr. Waterman was the first director of the National Science Foundation, so there's an award for the best young scholar every year, which is named for him. It's NSF's highest honor, recognizing an outstanding researcher under the age of 35 and funding their research in the honoris field of science or engineering. Dr. Alou, who is Italian, has research that has focused on man-made materials with properties that are not found in nature. They're called metamaterials. And he's also working on the interaction of light with matter at the very smallest scales, the nanoscale. He and his team achieved the bending of electromagnetic waves around objects, which is an effect known as cloaking. It renders the object invisible. Of course, they can't do it on a scale like you and me right now. It's on a very small scale, but has tremendous promise. The high value that we collectively place on such inquiries reflects the strong bond between the people of Italy and the United States, and we're grateful for our robust collaboration. The world owes a great debt to Italian thinkers for advances in astronomy, physics, communication. And I could go on for a long time about the great advances that NSF and Italy have achieved together, but I know it's been a long day for you. And I know everyone is anxious to move on to the presentation of awards to the outstanding scientists that I mentioned earlier. So I'll just close with a personal observation. It's commonly acknowledged that we live in an increasingly globalized world. Challenges like climate change and natural disasters and rising ocean levels and widespread malnutrition do not stop at our border's edge or the water's edge. Translational collaborations that are transnational are essential to tackling these and other global science and engineering challenges. The working relationship that NSF has had with Italy is providing a wonderful model for other countries as they seek to find ways to advance scientific knowledge and contribute to the progress of humankind. Together, we're going to build on the body of global science knowledge that we've inherited from the great scientists and engineers who preceded us, ones that have been celebrated by you often within these walls. And we will continue to push forward the frontiers of science. So thank you for this opportunity to share a few remarks about how importantly the National Science Foundation views its collaboration with Italy.